I'm Ric Perez, and I was part of the foundation of the Child Protective Partnership back in 1999, actually. So we're in our 20th year as a child advocacy group dedicated to reducing and eventually eliminating incidents of child abuse and neglect here in our community. Back in 1999, the county and the two cities of Manassas were growing substantially, and the incidents of child abuse and neglect had been on the rise. We were up around 225 children that had been abused or neglected that we determined to be factual. And we decided that as a Department of Social Services, our job is to investigate those complaints. But we did not have a role in the prevention at that point. And so we saw that there were a number of organizations around that worked with children in early childhood development and recreation and various forms of engagement with children and families. And our thought was if we could form some kind of an organization or a partnership that would begin to address prevention and education, that we might be able to slow the growth of in the number of children who were being abused and neglected. The Child Protection Partnership is composed of anywhere between 15 and 20 organizations here in our community that are engaged with children and families, and they would range from programs like the Park Authority to the ARC of Prince William, child care centers, juvenile court service staff, people involved in daycare programs, public and private. So it's a wide range of agencies that have come together, and the goal is to try to educate the community about child abuse and neglect, and also to emphasize programs that work with children and families to reduce stress and the incidence of child abuse and neglect. We also have had programs such as the program around children in cars. People unfortunately leave children in cars, and in the summertime that has proven to be deadly here in our community and throughout the country. And so it doesn't take more than about 5 minutes during a summer day for the inside of a car to reach 90 to 120 degrees. And for young children, that can be very deadly. It's also possible for that to happen with elderly people that we see sometimes, and also pets. So it's not just children, but our focus is on children. We've also done programs for how to pick childcare and what are some of the things you should be looking for in terms of picking a childcare facility. So those are educational programs that we've done. And then we also provide programs for the professional community in terms of education around preventing child abuse and identifying it and things like that. So I think we're trying to be effective in all of that. And I think fortunately it's less than 1% of the children in our community that end up being abused and neglected. But when we began this program, the question we raised among ourselves is, which child is it okay for that to be in that group of 1%? And if it's not okay for my child or your child, then it's not okay for any child to be abused or neglected. And so our goal remains to fully eliminate the instances of abuse and neglect. The partnership actually does have a Facebook page, so people can go to the Facebook page. The public agencies are organizations like the DSS, Department of Social Services in Manassas, Manassas Park in Prince William County. And then the Parks and Recreation programs in the 3 cities, the Juvenile Court, the Virginia Cooperative Extension Agency, which runs parenting programs and educational programs. We have people, citizens who have volunteered to participate, Northern Virginia Family Services, and various other programs that work with us to try to educate people and to work towards that prevention. So I would suggest you could go to our Facebook page, you could call one of the departments of social services and ask about being involved with us. And we're certainly always open to sponsorships for people to help us pay for some of the materials that we hand out and provide in the community. I would say that the Child Protection Partnership obviously has been in existence for 20 years. So it's a group of dedicated people. We've had turnover in terms of people and organizations. But it's organizations that are truly committed to the welfare of children and families in our community. And the partnership is a program that is outside of any individual agency. So it's an organization outside of the ownership of any one of those organizations. And the people that are part of the partnership really go above and beyond their regular job duties to participate. So we meet monthly, we do programs during the year, and they're dedicated people who go beyond what their job description is to try to help this community achieve a better outcome for children and families. And our vision is that we would have a community where children are accepted, loved, cared for, and nurtured so that they become responsible adults.